Alright, the tutorial series is back. Today we're going to go over how to make an armor set, a sword, and set up your project. So first thing that we want to do is go to where we want our project. Let's make a new folder, or I'm going to at least. Tutorials. And then we want to make a new folder for our project. And I'm gonna call it Ruby armor set. So then you want to copy this up here because we have to MK link our stuff. Basically, it'll link folders in here to your Minecraft files. You put the folder that you want to create here. So let's do the BP first, the behavior pack. Let's go com.mojang, development behavior packs. Let's name this Ruby armor set BP. Copy that path, paste it in here. I'm gonna copy this file and I'm just gonna put it in here. I'm gonna rename it from BP to RP. Now if we enter this, it should say it was created. If you go here, you see we have the BP here. I'm gonna also do a resource pack depending on your depending on what you want to create. You might not need a resource pack. You might also not need a behavior pack, but for this you will need it. You will need both. So that should be good. Yep, RP. Then whatever I put in here should go into here. Alright, nice. Let's open that folder. Minecraft tutorials, Ruby armor set. Open that folder. Trust. Alright, and also I will quickly show all my extensions so you can get the same experience that I have in VS Code. These are all of them right here. I'm just gonna leave it here for a few seconds. And alright. So, first off, we want to create the manifest files so the game actually recognizes them in game. Mine is going to be for 1.21.80 and above. This is going to be stable, so this is just the minimum version that your pack will run on, basically. Let's make another manifest for the resource pack. This one will be resources. And then I like to do dependencies. Basically, if you have any marketplace add-ons, you notice that if you apply the resource pack, it automatically applies the behavior pack too. So that's what I'm going to do here. Whatever version and UUID you have here, it needs to match the ones in the header, I believe. So I'm just going to copy those, put them over here. And then I also need the one here for the other side. Alright. So now we have these set up. One thing that you will want to do, if you want to be able to get achievements with your pack, you'll want to put the metadata product type add-on. And just because I like to do it, I'm going to put the author. Alright. Now I have those set up. if I were to load into game right now, let's just choose a world. Actually, let's just edit. Right. If I go here, I go to where is it? Yeah, it's just called pack.name right now. To change that, you could either change it here and not have it work for any other language, like at all, or you could do text languages.json. We need this, so if a language isn't supported, then it'll just default it to one that is supported, which I'm only gonna do in US. I just like doing this because, like, in the future, if you wanted to add languages support, it would be easy. So we also need our NUS file. Let's do pack.name. I'm going to call it Ruby Armor Set. Pack.description. Tutorial. Pack. There we go. And now I'm just going to copy this, put it in the BP, and then if I were to go on here, it should have changed. Ruby Armor Set. You see here, tutorial pack. Alright. Now we want to actually add the items. Let's start with the easy one. Let's start with a sword. So ruby sword dot item dot json. You don't need to put dot item. That just has to have dot json because it's a JSON file. I like putting stuff like that because if you search here for a specific file or something, then it will say dot item, so you know it's a item file. Let's put the format version. Let's do example. This is your add-on identifier. Like I'm not sure what it's called at the moment. I forgot, but it's the thing that goes before your item IDs. So you'd put like let's say I had a gun add-on, right? Ed's guns colon and then like pistol or something. So this one is just going to be example Ruby sword. Let's see. I want it in the swords category, right? So I think it's something like that. No, I have to check. I don't want it to be hidden in commands, like a /give, /replace item, and so on. Let's get an icon, right? We don't have any icon right now. So we need to texture something. I'm just gonna get my template from Bedrock samples. I will list that in the description. It basically just has the vanilla resource and behavior pack. So textures, items, sword, boom, diamond sword. Let me just do it up here. Let's make a textures folder. Let's make another file in the textures folder. Call it, let's abbreviate it, ERA. I don't know. ERA. Example Ruby Armor. Then let's put another one, call it items. You don't need to do all this, I'm just doing it because I'm used to it. So now we have diamondsword.png. I forgot I had a image editor here. I was just gonna do it in Blockbench. There we go. Here's our Ruby sword texture. Icons, whenever you put it here, it's like a sword or something, right? It's not the texture path. To get it to do that, you need item texture.json folder or file. I'm not sure if you need this, but I'm gonna put it. What do we name it here? Ruby armor set. All right, let's do that. Texture name. Atlas.items. You need that, or else it'll bug out. From my experience. Example Ruby sword is what we want the texture to be called, or whatever you want to put here. Name it correspondingly here, and then the path for my texture. It's in textures. It's ERA. It's in items, and then Ruby sword is there. I don't know why this is in the items folder. It shouldn't be. Let's move that. There we go. Textures, ERA, items, and then Ruby sword. Example Ruby sword. And let's do hand equipped. This will make it where you will hold the item like a tool. So like a sword, a pickaxe, a shovel, an axe, so forth. How much damage do we want our sword to do? Let's say 1 more than diamond. Let's do 8. Let's also do, let's make it enchantable, right? We want it to have sword enchantments. The value, I'm not really sure what this does. I'm just gonna put 15. Do we want durability? Sure, why not? 17. I don't know, 52. Right, let's do 1752. So now, if I were to go in game with this pack, let's make a new world for testing. Alright, if we go to resource packs and behavior packs, if we go down, we'll find a Ruby armor set. And now, because we put dependencies, it automatically added the behavior pack when I added the resource pack. Nice. Alright, let's load in. Oh, I crashed. What? I don't think that has to do with my pack. I think that's just Minecraft being Minecraft. I guess we'll try it again. There we go. Alright, now if I go in here, okay, I did the item group wrong, but we have Ruby sword. Oh, I forgot to put the stack size, but see, we have Ruby sword, right? Let's just see the damage. We have 8 attack damage. Wow, it's dead. Yeah. Also, you see we're holding it correctly. I have actions and stuff on, so don't mind the animations. But we're holding it correctly, and it works. Yep, it went down. Let's fix the errors. So you saw the Ruby sword had the name, like the identifier for the name. I'm guessing you don't want that. So in the resource pack, let's define the name. So for defining item names, you want to put item dot, and then you'll want to put the identifier of the item. So example Ruby sword. Then we'll just name it Ruby sword with a red. If you're wondering how I did that without copy paste, you do Alt 0167 on your keyboard. Let's say you wanted to have a second line under the name. So let's put what do we want? Line break for second lines in inline files. This is how you do it. Let's put I'm putting this so it resets the text. My awesome sword. Alright. And then in here, what was another issue we had? The max stack size, right? We were able to get 64. You probably don't want that either. Let's do 1. And then I'm also going to put the sword tag just for compatibility, right? Minecraft is sword. I'm not sure if it needs is tool, but we'll put that anyway. So now let me load into the game again. Now, if I hover over it, Ruby sword, my awesome sword, 8 attack damage. Let's see. Oh yeah, since I added the tags too, now actions and stuff actually does the correct animations. That's cool. Pack compatibility. Oh. Okay, so with normal swords, you would see that you can't break stuff in creative. But with our sword, you can. We can fix that. Let's do that. So let's do can destroy in creative, false. That's all you gotta do. An easier way to reload the game is just reload all. I think it's faster as well. Yep. Oh. Bug rack moment. But yeah, now we can't destroy blocks. Let's make sure it can be enchanted. Boom. Enchanted sword. Look at our awesome ruby sword that we've made. Alright. So, we made the sword. Let's say you wanted a recipe for it, right? Recipes. Oh, not recipe. It has to be called recipes. There we go. I don't think I have to put the folder. You know, I'm just not going to. Let's do ruby sword dot recipe dot json. Like before, you only need the dot json. You don't need the dot recipe. But I like doing the. I like doing this. Now for recipes, let's do let's make a shapeless recipe. Actually, let's just make it be let's just make it where you have to dye a diamond sword with red dye. That should be pretty simple, right? So let's do the description. This is the identifier of your recipe. It can match your item if you want it to, which that's what I'm going to do. Let's do tags. Let's add a crafting table so it actually shows up in the crafting table. I think this also makes it show up in your tiny crafting grid, like in your inventory. Let's do ingredients. Let's see what we want. Item red dye, I think it is. Let's do count of 1. Item. Then we want a diamond sword with a count of 1. Let's make it where it can't have any durability damage, so it has to be data 0. But we have this. We need to get the result for the recipe. Let's do example ruby sword, count of 1. And then you need unlocks so people can actually see the recipes in survival, right? If you think about it, whenever you can see iron sword recipes and stuff, you have to get iron first. So we're just gonna make it where you have to get a diamond sword first, because you need the diamond sword and red dye to make the ruby sword. So now, if I were to reload again, so let's see. Let me bug rock moment. Let me let me get that. Let me get red dye. Now, if I put these in here, whoa, ruby sword! Look at that, my awesome sword. Nice. We have a recipe and everything for this thing. And if I were to go in survival, it should show up here too. Yep, ruby sword. Nice. So we have that. We have a recipe. We have the item. We have the texture. We have the name. We have everything for it. Now we should get on to the armor set, shall we? So let's do, let's say ruby helmet. Limit. Ruby helmet. Now, something that armor needs is called attachables. Those are kind of complicated, but it lets you render stuff when holding the item or when the item's equipped. Icon. Now, I didn't make it yet, but we're just going to call it ruby helmet. It doesn't need to be hand equipped, so we're not going to do that. Let's do max stack size of 1. Let's do wearable. Let's add this slot.armor.head because it's a helmet. Protection. How much do we want? How much does a normal helmet do? A diamond helmet, that does like 4, right? So let's do 5. This would be 2.5 armor slots. Let's also give it durability. I'm just not going to look up the durability for this one. I'm just going to do 256. Let's make it enchantable. Slot helmet. Armor head, that's what it's called. Value 15, because I don't know what that does. That should be everything here, I believe. Let's just take a look through here. I mean, we can check if there's any tags. Is armor? Is there? No, there's not. Is helmet. Alright. We have is armor and stuff. You can add repairable. Let's just do a diamond, right? Let's do a diamond. And then let's make it a. You can do molding stuff, which I'm not sure what the query is at the moment, so I'm just gonna do a. How much does it normally take? Like 3 to fully repair a thing? So 256 divided by 3. Calculator. $85. Let's do 85. Right. I'm also going to add this to the sword now that we have it. 1752. Let's get the calculator again. Divided by 3. 584. Alright. Boom. So we have that. We do need some textures, don't we? So let's go back to our Bedrock samples. Let's get the armor textures. Diamond. Boots, chest plate, helmet, leggings, right? Just copy that. Paste. Alright, we got those textures. There's one more texture that we have to do. Or technically 2. There's 2 textures that we have to do. Which, it's the 3D the 3D textures that we need for the armor. We have the item texture, which is 2D, right? We got the 2D item texture. Put that on. It's a 3D model. We want to change the 3D texture. We only change this one. So let's go ahead and find that. I haven't searched for those in a while, so it might actually take a bit. Textures, models, armor. Alright. They had to put it in a weird one. Textures, models, armor. Let's copy these two, and then I'm just gonna retexture them. Boom. Paste. And I'm gonna rename them to Ruby. Alright, now that we got those, we got to get the attachable files. And we also have to make a item texture for the Ruby stuff. Or we gotta define it here at least. So let's do Ruby helmet. Ruby helmet here. So we got those. We will also want to name the items. So let's do item.example Ruby helmet. Ruby helmet. Now I need a attachables folder. Right. So we're on to the attachables part. I'm gonna make our own file. Ruby helmet dot attachable.json. New attachable 1.10 example Ruby helmet entity alpha test. Let's do enchanted glint something armor enchanted. Let's do enchanted texture. I'm just gonna take this one from the diamond helmet one and hope that it works, which it should, but let's change this. So since it's the helmet one, if we go to the textures, models, Ruby 1 has the helmet. So textures, ERA, models, Ruby 1. And then let's take this geometry from here, geometry.humanoid.armor.helmet. I don't remember that, but we will use it. Hopefully it works. Armor. There we go. Reload all. Bedrock. There we go. Okay, well both of these aren't showing up in the right spots, but it looks like it's working. Yeah, it's working. Let's enchant it to make sure it has the enchanted texture. Yeah, now you can see it real well. It's enchanted. You can guess what we have to do for the rest. We gotta make an attachable file for each one. If it's leggings or boots, Ruby 2. Then also change this. So I'll just do that real quick. I'm just gonna copy this and head to the other corresponding ones. So now we have that. Now we just gotta do the attachables. Alright, and then here we start putting them to 2 whenever it's leggings and boots. Alright, if I did everything correctly, when I reload, we should have the full armor set. Okay, it's not in the right categories. Like I said earlier, I'll just set that up. after we test them. Chest plate works. The leggings work. The boots don't work. I messed something up here. Oh, wait. Let's check this. Okay. It looks like the boots are actually in Ruby 1 for some reason instead of Ruby 2. Let's change that. And now if I reload, it should work. There we go. Look at our new armor set. Look at our fully custom Ruby armor set. I will put these in the categories. Let's just make sure we can enchant them and everything. Enchant as protection 4. Enchant as, what's a leg thing? Switch sync. And then what's a boots thing? Soul speed. Now I am faster when crouched. Yeah, there we go. Custom armor set works. Now let's get the groups actually working. I'm gonna take a look at that. Alright, I think I know what I did wrong. I forgot to put a dot name. Hopefully this will fix it. Hopefully this will fix it. Alright, now you see Ruby boots are in the boots, Ruby leggings are in the leggings, Ruby chest plate is in the chest plates, Ruby helmet is in the helmets, and also Ruby sword is in the swords. Yippee! We did it. We have a full set. Let me I already damaged this sword, so let's see if I can repair it. We should be able to. Yep. Boom. We did it. Alright. That was the comeback of the tutorial series. So I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.